Eastman and Lard's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles issue 2 is a treat for me because it introduces one of my all-time favorite bad guys and arch nemesis in the Ninja Turtles, Baxter Stockman. He is a fucking menace, and he proves it in this issue. And we'll show you what I mean. But first, I would like to read the foreword on here. They call them turtle tracks because I thought it was interesting. And it's a good piece of history and understanding what was going on during the beginning of Mirage Studios doing the Turtle comic and what have you. Howdy, folks. Welcome to the third printing of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles number 2. That's what this is. There's the cover, which is great. I'll get to that in a second. Book 2. The memories it brings back. Grumble, grumble. You wouldn't believe the hellish path book number 2 traveled along with the artist before it reached you. Shall elaborate. Okay, you talked me into it. Let's start with the artists were trying to create a working atmosphere 300 miles apart. All the story and artwork from TMNT number 2 were done through the mail and over the phone. As at the time I was living in the Pine Tree state of Maine, while Peter had taken up residence in the Nutmeg state of Connecticut. This is being written by Kevin. That itself was sheer hell and would never be done again. The difficulty in working that way is one of the major reasons there was such a long time between the publication of number 1 and number 2. Shortly after finishing number 2, I moved to Connecticut. I got there just as the finished books arrived from the printer, who will remain nameless, and to our surprise, not only had used the wrong cover stock, we had asked for the same glossy paper that we'd been used on the number 1 issue, but gave us a matte finish stock instead. But a lot of the side pages were crooked, which during stitching and trimming caused entire tops of panels to be chopped off in a lot of copies. This is where the fun began. Peter and I had to go through the entire first printing of 15,000 books, one by one, page by page, tossing out the worst and keeping the ones that were still readable. It took days, and the losses were about 2,000 copies, but it was over, or so we thought. TMNT number 2's first printing sold out immediately. We had enough pre-orders returned for us. We went back to the printer and ordered 300,000 or 30,000 more copies of number 2, not 300,000. This was an indie comic, of course. Of number 2, having complete faith that they would do a better job after the first printing mess. We were wrong. 30,000 books were delivered not only 1 month later than promised, but in the same sad condition the first run. Once again, we had to go through each book and throw away those we found that were chopped with chopped handles. Try to imagine thumbing through 1,800,000 pages of black ink on newspaper, and you'll get an idea of how ticked off we were. Needless to say, our printer's still missing. Just kidding. Anyway, things are great now. Southern Duchess News, our new printer, has helped us a great deal with their quick professional service, doing a great printing job, and getting our books shipped out on time. Thanks, guys. I'd also like to extend thanks to Richard Corbin for... Anyway, the rest of it is not really that important, but I just wanted to read that from Kevin Eastman. If you want to know more about it, you can read yourself. I thought that was pretty cool. Also, this page. Yeah! Does it look familiar? Yeah? Yeah! It's this guy. I wanted to wear the shirt until I got to this page. Yeah. This book is great because it gives you more of the Turtles and who they are, their personalities, essentially. And you get to meet April for the first time. She's another character that they introduce. Let's get into it. So, kiss your butt goodbye. The Turtles are hanging out. You get to see them in their natural habitat. Leonardo is reading a book. Donatello is working on his machines as he does, and Raph and Mikey are in a spar because that's what they do. And Raph is just an angry person, and he has to fight at all times. And they cause a ruckus. And while they're doing that, Master Splinter gets everyone's attention to the TV because there's a news report going on, and the interviewer is interviewing Baxter Stockman about his new Mousers. There he is. That's the guy. He's great. Not really. He's, like I said, he's a fucking menace. But in here, this guy fucks. And he fucks hard. But you would think he's innocent because he's just a scientist and he has these Mousers that are going to go around and clean up the rat problem that they have in New York in the sewers. But little did they know. Of course, Splinter has a problem with this, being a rat and all. I digress. Mikey and Raph are still sparring and they break some shit. Splinter's like, I'm going to go meditate, and Mikey and Raph, you need to clean this up. While he's meditating, it cuts over to Baxter Stockman talking to April O'Neil. Because April works for Baxter Stockman in this capacity. She is an engineer, and she designed the code for the Mousers to work in the first place. And they're going back and forth on this and everything. But April's asking too many questions, of course, and it gets her into a lot of trouble. So Baxter lures her into the elevator, which he brings out a keycard that opens another floor that she's never been to before. And she's worried about this. And of course, there's thousands of Mousers that he has collected and built because he's stealing money from banks, essentially. But no one knew that until recent. But yeah, he was basically he took the Mousers that the city funded and used them to tunnel into bank vaults and steal money to build more Mousers because he wants to take over shit. April finds out about this and he tells her all this, and She's like, oh, you could do all this and make millions legally. Why are you doing this? And this motherfucker, he says he's doing it for fun and just starts laughing. Like, look at that guy. He's just living his own little world, having a great time because he likes doing bad things. He can't have April going around telling everyone that he's an evil mastermind, so he sticks his Mausers on her, and she flees. She tries to go in the elevator, she can't go in the elevator, so she ends up going through into the sewers, through the elevator shaft, and escaping. But the Mausers follow her into the sewers, but luckily, lo and behold, our boys show up and take them out. Much like in the movie, when she first encounters them, she can't handle it, and she faints. So they take her back to see Splinter. Splinter explains what the hell what they're doing, who they are, where they came from, and they reference the backstory in the first issue, right there, which we went over in the other video. And the TV comes on, and it's Baxter Stockman, being the menace that he is. I'm going to read this to you, because this is fascinating to me. Greetings, citizens of New York. Who I am is not important. Well, not as important as what I am prepared to do. April chimes in, oh my god, that's Baxter. I intend to extort $1 billion from the major businesses of New York City. How do I intend to do this, you say? Simple. By systematically holding hostage every corporate headquarters building in the city. If I am not paid this ransom, I set for each building I pick, then one by one I will demolish them. The air will shudder with the sounds of tortured, twisted, steel-shattering glass and exploding stone. Now just to show that I am not jesting, and to show that I am not a cheap kind of guy, I'm going to give you a freebie. I have in my hand, a small model of Retzab building. Anyway. Its real-life counterpart in downtown Manhattan, vacant except for a few small offices since the previous owners vanished mysteriously, will cease to exist at 3 p.m. today. Sorry, I'm not a supervillain, I'm not good at these things. And he crunches it in his hand. All angry. And tomorrow at 3 p.m., one of the World Trade Center towers will topple, unless I am paid $20 million. Diabolical. And that's it. That's where it ends. They wait until the next day, and there's a news report showing the building that he said he's gonna blow up, and it's like, oh, it's 303, nothing happened yet, and then it blows up. April cries, she doesn't know what to do. Splinter's like, fuck it, you guys gotta do something. So he sends the Turtles on, and they find Stockman very fast. Well, obviously April helps them because she worked with them, so she knew how to get into a place and everything. But they get to him with the quickness. Like, it's only one page essentially. There's a little scuffle that goes on. He's not really a physical fighter in the beginning, you know. He's more of just a maniacal madman that can control a bunch of machines. But they try to stop him, and he flips a switch that sends all of the Mausers back into his lair to destroy everything. Raphael beats him up. Donatello's trying to work the machines. He's trying to figure out what's going on. He figures out that they're going to come in through the tunnel, and then they need to blow up the tunnel so they can at least slow them down. So the Turtles go into the tunnel, they set up regular explosives, you know, run-of-the-mill things. Well, they blow that shit up, but they still come through. And so they're fighting them, tooth and nail. And all the while, Donnie's on the computer with April trying to figure out how to stop them. April's like coming up with spitballing crazy ideas, like, hey, why don't you make a fucking virus program? Donnie says there's no time, I would need more time. And she's like, well, maybe there's a way we can flip the electrical, and that would do it. And he's like, well, we could do that, but they're going to be the last thing that goes offline, so we'll be in the dark until they show up. As they are slashing everything, killing everything, this is great. This is a great 2-page. Wrecking shit. I'm getting ahead of myself. We got the wrecking shit. Things are shutting down. It's going dark. So we get this cool page where it's going from them all together in light, and the light cuts out, and you get all the onomatopoeia going in the darkness. And you're thinking, oh shit, they're done for. Well, you would be thinking wrong. I guess it worked. Such a cool little story. Also, I would like to note in this printing, which is the third printing, I don't know if I stressed that earlier. When I was reading it earlier, I noticed that there was a typo, which I was like, what? That's kind of crazy. Because I didn't see one in the first one. I gotta find it. Here we go, yeah. As you can see, we have constructed this maze. I'm not a stickler for details, but I thought it was that, which is kind of crazy that it says that. Thank you for coming along, and I will see you next time. Peace.